Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 309. Let's see. We're missing OJ. He's out and about doing some stuff. We'll hear from him again next week. He'll be back with us. But we do have a bunch of people still here to talk. What happened to Nate? Did we ever figure that out? We just one week he just wasn't here and we haven't seen him since.
I think it's a woman.
Someone
or a man. I mean,
someone should really check in on him. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see what happened to Nate. We'll figure it out. But let me go around here. We have Max, Dreamcast guy. How we doing, Max?
Great. I finally got my SpawnCast shirt, which I have to say looks absolutely incredible. I put it on. Several women immediately approached me and offered to perform things to me. So love this shirt.
Okay, good. We got MVG.
Hello, I'm wearing my sun and surf shirt.
Have you done either of those today?
Nice and sunny weather here. 73 degrees.
It's still cold here. It's like 40 something degrees here still.
Well, screw that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't mind the cold still, but it is getting a little old now. So,
What are you talking, dude? I'm about to get 3 to 6 inches of snow Monday night.
Are you? Dude, screw that.
We haven't had any snow in this area, Northeast. Nah,
we had it like one day. And that was
it was supposed to snow tonight or last night, and I was supposed to be like up to an inch. And it never did. It just rained. Yeah, that's a great job. You could be a weatherman. Just lie all the time. It doesn't fucking matter. People will still believe you. Kind of like a politician and a weatherman.
It's 80 degrees here. I love it.
Let's see. We have RGT. Sean is here.
Hello.
Good to have Sean here. Okay, cool. So and we have Evan.
Yep.
Evan, hang on. Still rolling with that other channel. The channel is picking up.
Yeah, I did a painting video recently. I will see how that one goes since it's a little offbeat from all the other stuff I was doing so far.
Okay. Good stuff. Let's see. Tonight we got the Starfield date or delay kind. I don't know. Sean, I'm sure will have some input on
it is a delay, John. Just by the term, the definition of a delay, it's a delay. Point blank, period.
We'll get it.
People got mad for that too. Yeah.
We'll get into that. Then we have the Capcom showcase that brought us the Resident Evil 4 remake demo, which was awesome, and then some other announcements there and stuff we'll go over. We do also have the Suicide Squad game randomly getting delayed. I think there's a lot to that one actually. And then the PS4 might not be done yet. In fact, cross-gen could be going on for a while if one indication of what is to be believed.
What news story is this now?
Well, we'll get to that one because I want to get MVG's take on that since he might still be developing for the PS4 in like 2026.
Jeez.
Yeah. Let's start with a Discord question though, Evan. What we got?
How often does the SpawnCast go out to local video game stores and buy stuff?
I went to one today.
I went to one 3 days ago. I'm gonna go to one tomorrow.
I guess to expand on it, are they like the newer game stores or is it like retro kind of mom and pop ones? Or you guys just focus on?
No, this is that book, game, movie, to the all-in-one store that's by the mall kind of. Yeah.
That's the one we went to.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still there. Still there. They've been collecting us. That's actually where I found like some pretty good stuff there at times. I mean, it's not like the cheapest stuff, but they have it, and it's weird. Like Trails of Cold Steel, they had both special editions there. Random, right? For the Vita one day I went there, and it was not for the Vita. They had the entire thing boxed, the collector's edition. It was like $50. So
what the hell? That's crazy. I haven't been to a physical. I get everything on eBay or Amazon now. Everything.
I don't have any independent like stores anywhere near me, and I don't really buy old games.
Start
anymore.
one. You have one behind you.
I am. I already sold out though.
You sold out.
Yeah. So yeah.
Confirmed. Sean sells out.
That's fine. We got another one, Evan.
If Nintendo's next system isn't a better Switch, does that mean they would go back to a 2-device system at the same time? So you'd have like the Switch for handheld and then just like a completely other system.
Probably
stuff.
They would probably go to 2 systems. That'd be weird though, because even their one system setup is, I think a lot of people figured they would be having output all over the place, but just development time is so long. It'd be hard, I think, for them to do 2 systems now. I think it'd be hard for any of the companies to do 2 systems. So I think they're locked in.
I mean, Xbox has been struggling for a decade with one. So
see, already on the Xbox. We didn't even get to Starfield yet. He's already on.
The hater.
Is it this is a problem with people. People get mad at stuff and they get in their fucking feelings and shit. But if it's factually true, and don't come at me with Grounded. Don't come at me with all these little, side.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Should we just talk about Starfield now? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Let's knock it out. Let's knock it out.
Starfield.
Give it 2 minutes. We got this.
Starfield, it got dated. We had an entire trailer that was released, and they did that thing where they pretended like I guess they knew it was there, but I was like nonchalantly, oh yeah, there's gameplay in the background while we're talking to you and all these things. They showed a pretty good cinematic in the beginning. Some of the gameplay in the back, people are already zooming in and cropping and doing analysis on and all of this, but it is dated September 6th. And yes, that is a delay, right? Sean, it is a delay. Sean got roasted pretty bad for it. It was funny.
Yeah, so did I. A lot of Xbox Twitter. Well, Xbox Twitter got mad at us because he and I both said delayed again. And a lot of people kept claiming the game, like literally, I screenshot it and I was going to make a video. Hundreds of people kept saying the game was never delayed. There's a trailer that says 11/11/22. That was the first delay. This is the second, I literally, the people spamming us with the game was never delayed. I literally have no idea what drugs they're smoking.
The internet just has short-term memory. I mean, we've seen it with boycotts and everything. It's just how it works.
If that makes you mad, if that sentence makes you mad, Starfield got delayed, you have problems, bro. Because like let's be realistic here. This is not, and I saw people saying, well, Nintendo delays games, Sony delays games. They still release games. Okay. It hasn't been a long period of time where this is a consistent thing that happens. Halo Infinite had the same fate. The game came out and it was a shell of what it needed to be. I would say with the new content update, it's a lot better. Yes, I have played it because I play my Xbox quite a bit.
Whoa. When did you play Halo Season 3?
I played it when it came out. You told me at the time. Yeah, I just didn't want to play with you.
Damn.
But no, this is a continual thing with Xbox, and we've seen it time and time again. Whereas the other companies, you could give them a little bit more of a benefit of a doubt because it doesn't happen quite as often. And I don't understand why people get into their feelings with this and these Xbox accounts, and people will sit there and insult you and they'll throw words and verbiage at you, but in their fucking Twitter profile it's like only positivity, no meanness, and it's like, do you understand what these words mean? Do you understand what you're saying? And of course, they have their legions of dedicated followers who will fall on their sword for them, but at the end of the day, you're a consumer and you should want the best thing available. Yes, will this help Starfield? Probably to some degree, but this game was supposedly done a while ago. What would this game have looked like if it came out in November of 2022 when it was supposed to come out? This is a Bethesda game.
Yeah, it would have looked like a Bethesda game.
It would have looked like a Bethesda game, I was going to say.
And people are like, oh, well, this additional delay, it's going to make everything better. And it's like, can you prove that? Is there somewhere where you can show me where Bethesda had a game with a release date, changed the release date, and then the game was better because of that change, or there was less bugs? Because I can't really think of anything that pops into mind that is like that. And I think the bigger picture is, once again, Xbox has lied to their consumer base. We did not make a presentation and say all of these games are going to be released within 12 months. We did not make that. We did not put this arbitrary date into people's minds. Xbox did. And then they're unable to meet their own set deadlines. And somehow people talking about that is the problem because it's negative. No, it's realistic. It's realistic. If any other, just like I crucified Nintendo because there's no fucking performance patch for the Pokemon games and there's never one coming. And people just believe that this magical fix is coming like that. Hold these companies accountable, people. Like, you are the consumer. You are the lifeblood of these companies. Without you, these companies do not exist. Like, it's madness to me.
I think loving Xbox definitely takes a certain amount of just blind faith that we don't have. But the weirdest thing is people kept saying that you and I were drama queens. I had people saying, Dreamcast guy never talks about PlayStation delays, but if you just literally go to my channel and search a game and the word delay, you see I talked about God of War Ragnarok's delay. I talked about the broken problems of Gran Turismo. I don't know. It's really weird that people are so obsessed with defending games that aren't out. It's very weird. I am hoping the Starfield delay is a positive thing. I am still hopeful. I am one of those people that was zooming in on the background and actually excited to see someone running around and shooting, because they did have actually a decent amount. They had 20 solid seconds of combat there that looked pretty good. it's just weird how little we've seen of that game. I still, there is some people already mumbling on the internet this may get another delay. Personally, I do think this thing's going to end up being November.
I think the game's coming out in September. Go on, MG.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I think it's coming out in September. And look, we can't really know why they delayed the game an extra 6 weeks from the June date, which I guess it wasn't dated in June, but we kind of assumed it was going to be around that time. I can only assume that because this is Game Pass, the playing field now is different. Like Bethesda can't afford to release a buggy game like they used to and drop it on Game Pass day one, because people are just going to just stop playing pretty much immediately. So I feel like they're taking the extra time to polish this game and get it ready during that time. But that's only speculation, of course. But I think that honestly, like, I'm just happy this game is finally coming out. It's been so long. We've been talking about this game literally for years and years and years. And I'm just kind of hopeful that this is going to be the conclusion of it. And it's a good game. And I think, look, September is also a good month for them to drop this game, because it does resonate with reviewers and media and stuff about the game of the year conversation as well. So I think it's a smart move for them to do it.
Interesting, because that might be the month that Spider-Man 2 ends up in.
Maybe, but I mean, Starfield and Spider-Man have literally nothing to do with each other. Like one game is cinematic, you'll beat it in 10 hours. Max will beat it in like 2 hours.
True.
Open world, vast RPG, probably 100 hours of gameplay, and a game that we still know nothing about. Really, we haven't really seen anything. So
we will have that showcase in June, and it's going to apparently be after the Xbox showcase. So it sounds like there's going to be a lengthy stream from the Xbox showcase right into Starfield, which they could potentially take up an hour of that, just kind of hanging out, talking about the game show. It's very possible that that's a lengthy showcase for Starfield, which it needs. You're right. You need to go over a lot of aspects of that game.
Well, I mean, I kind of, how Todd Howard does his like 30-minute presentation on Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 and all that. I feel like this is going to be the same thing. He's going to come out with the brown leather jacket. He's going to talk to us about Starfield for 30 minutes, the character creation, the ships, the building, the exploration, and he'll be like, yep, and you'll be able to play it in a few months after that.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, though, but Microsoft showed off 3 games that were releasing within 12 months, and only one of them.
Yeah, that was the phrase. Yes. Yep. Hey, Minecraft Legends coming through.
Well, no, I'm counting Redfall too.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not really counting Minecraft Legends.
Whoa.
But you can, I guess. So half.
Oh no,
I don't think
I'm gonna play that game. But go on. Sorry.
I mean, obviously, I'm talking about Forza. I'm talking about, because Forza, if it's not coming out before June, I feel like we would have known that
Forza?
already.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like, once again, I don't understand why people keep saying, "Oh, I have enough games to play. I have enough games to play." Great, you have enough games to play. What if you only own an Xbox? What if that's your main platform? What if that's all you can game on? And like, you're waiting for these games. Like, not all people have the luxury of owning all these systems. And I see, people saying weird things like, "Oh, well, you don't want to go up against Zelda and Final Fantasy 16." It's like, if I'm an Xbox fan, I do, because Zelda, if I wanted to play Zelda, I would have a Nintendo system. If I wanted to play Final Fantasy 16, I would have a PlayStation. I own an Xbox because I want to play these Xbox games that I've been told have been coming for a very long time. So yes, I don't think it's drama. I don't think it's manufacturing drama when this is a consistent problem. All Xbox really has to do is release a couple games in a row when they say they're going to release bigger titles, and I think everyone will leave them alone. Like,
on that point, which is a very, very good point, and I agree with you 100%. What happens if they release? They start out with Starfield in September.
Well, I was going to give them Redfield.
Yeah.
I was going to Redfall. Yeah. Redfall in May.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Forget about Redfall. I'm talking about the end of the year. So we got Starfield in September, Forza in October, and Hellblade 2 in November. That's a pretty damn good way to cap the year.
Would do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Would that
do
fantastic,
it?
but it's I don't think Hellblade 2 is coming out this year.
I
is
don't.
it?
I don't think so either.
Mm.
If that happens though, MVG, I will give all the credit to Microsoft because that would actually. I'll be honest. It's been a long time since Microsoft had a 3-punch in 1 year. I'd love that.
I think Hellblade 2 has to be this year. Dude, that was the
Jeff
game that
Grubbs
we
in the chat.
saw
Jeff,
at the
when is
launch.
Hellblade?
The reveal of the Xbox Series X.
Oh,
back
yeah,
in
that's right.
Was it 2019 or something like?
We were watching that on stream, remember? And we were like, that looks ridiculous.
has to be coming out this year.
But you have, but then okay, but then you also run into the problem of, you know, like I like to say, blowing your load too soon. Because let's say those 3 games come out back to back to back, then what?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the reason I don't think Hellblade 2 is coming out this year. The reason is because they already have their 3-punch in a row. They already have it figured out. Okay, they have, let's see, they have Starfield. Then we'll say Forza in October.
Yep.
Call of Duty in November.
Mm.
That's shipping with a Microsoft logo on it because this deal is done just about. I think this thing is wrapping up before June, and they're rolling in with that as a Game Pass drop in November. I think that's it. I mean, really, if you think about it, every year they're probably going to have that Call of Duty release in November. So their November is like locked in every year. Then they can just go ahead and just pencil that in for the next 10 years, no problem there. But they could still do it. They could say, you know what, Hellblade 2 is in there anyway. Who cares? You have fun. Here you go. Merry Christmas. All this stuff. Boom, right there. But I wouldn't be shocked if they had Ninja Theory just stick with it for another year. Here's my thing though with Starfield. All right, you mentioned the multiple delays, Sean. At this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to come out last November. Are the expectations even higher now?
Oh, yeah,
for
they
this
have
game?
to be.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
to be.
Okay.
And people act like I don't, dude. On the 360, like my favorite games on the Xbox 360 were Fallout 3 and Elder Scrolls Oblivion with stupid ass Hyronius Lex.
Oblivion was pretty legit though on the 360 when that came out.
And you'd go up to someone, you go up to one of the beggars. I could eat for a day off a single coin. They sound all like prestigious, and you give them a coin. Thank you, kind sir. And then they'd go to like their gutter voice, and it's like, what the fuck just happened here? Are you bipolar? I don't understand. But I remember my game got glitched with Hyronius Lex, and I remember I used to do the thing where it was like you would find a building that had like a low ceiling, and you would just keep jumping because your head would hit, and you would just level up your jumps like
the athletics. And the jumping,
so like this isn't like foreign concepts to me. I understand these games. I understand that these games are absolutely massive. We have to go back to the point being that we are not the people who set these dates. Xbox did, and if you weren't confident in that date, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, you know, it's a shame because, like I said, I play my Xbox probably more than any other system, but it's just like you feel like you're constantly waiting.
Well, I mean, also think about it this way, right? We have Redfall in May. Okay.
Hell yes.
Activision Blizzard deal locked up, done. Diablo 4 in June. That's a Microsoft logo. Stamp it on there. Shipped. A couple months. Then we get to Starfield, Forza, Call of Duty. Hey, you know what? Hellblade 2 in December just for fun. Here you go.
Are you calling Call of Duty? Well, Call of Duty is not an exclusive though.
It's got the Microsoft logo on it. They're stamping it. They're sending it. I mean, Destiny 2 just came out. Lightfall. That was Sony's.
I guess, but I don't know if does Sony like. I'll be honest, I haven't played any Destiny. When you start it up, does it start with a big PlayStation logo?
I haven't checked. I mean, I assume Sony's name is in there with all the credits and everything going on. I
would say it does somewhere.
Yeah. But that's the thing with Call of Duty, though, Sean. You know, Microsoft stamping the Xbox logo. They're going to be all over that thing.
Dude, Call of Duty multiplayer, there's got to be a skin with an Xbox logo on it.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. They're going to make it look like it's an Xbox exclusive as much as they can.
Is Diablo 4 going to be on Game Pass as well?
Hey, I would assume as soon as that deal closes, they start moving to get as much as they can on Game Pass.
When is that catalog?
That's in June.
June? Yeah.
June 6th, I think. Yeah. So there you go. Diablo 4 drops in. These are all games, by the way, like Diablo 4, Starfield, Forza that they would be targeting to keep people playing for a long time. So that works out well for their Game Pass model. But I feel like second half, starting in May with Redfall. What were we saying, Max?
I was going to say, I honestly think if they do that and they do put games like Diablo 4 on there, I think it's going to be a huge win for Game Pass numbers because they're already talking about the fact that they want to do like a solid 2 years of big content updates for Diablo 4. Games like that, I feel like keep people like Sea of Thieves. It seems like Xbox Game Pass subscribers like that, like drip of content. So that would be great.
Also, check this out. While we're on the topic of this Activision Blizzard deal, I was thinking about this a bit more. How many people are subscribed to World of Warcraft right now?
Technically, I am. I haven't unsubbed yet.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. That's now Game Pass.
Yeah, right.
All those subscribers are now Game Pass. It just comes with your Game Pass subscription. Like, that's like 15 a month or something, isn't it? Or 10 a month?
15 a month, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically congratulations, you're now Game Pass. They're gonna do these little things to try to boost up the numbers. So there's a lot to that deal. And I think it's closing. It might look like it's closing in May at this point. I think they're gonna get the thing locked down. So, but Starfield, September. I'm excited for this game.
I'm excited too. I can't wait to fucking play it.
What is it? What's the game? What do you do?
It's Skyrim in space, but hopefully,
I just assume it's gonna be like No Man's Sky, but it plays like
more narrative driven.
Well,
like,
somebody told me, because I'll be honest, I just started looking to it. You don't actually fly. You'll like pick planets.
Yeah,
Your
no, you
ship is
kind of
not
select
flyable.
where you go. You can only land at certain points, and there might be a maximum distance you can travel. So
Yeah,
like,
this is stuff we're
there's
still
a
trying to
bit of
figure out.
restriction, supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
That sucks. But there's like supposed to be like 6 billion planets. I just have to click them.
I think it said 1,000 planets is what they were saying, but they decided to just keep it 1,000 rather than, I guess, procedurally generate infinite amounts so they can spend time building out each one. Or 1,000 seems like a lot to spend time personalizing and building out, but I guess if they have enough people and they divide up all the planets, then they can do it. But I am genuinely curious how big this game will end up being, because apparently there were talks that it was in testing phases at some point, and I think there were rumors that the campaign, if you just play through it, is like 35 to 40 hours. But then there's so much side content and side quests and all this, you just spend as much time as people are still in Skyrim, but in Starfield. And then you get into the mods and the subsequent expansions that'll show up. This seems like a game that people will spend years on. So for me, with the delay, yeah, I get what Sean's saying, where he's like, it's not a great look PR wise or management wise, but I mean, the size of this game, it's like, you know what, delay it as long as it shows up and it's not busted and Bethesda buggy. That's where the expectations come in now. That's the thing.
That's the question, because
that's the key thing.
Because
if it is,
didn't they say there might be DMCA and like an online function attached to it? Because if that's the case, like all the prior Bethesda games, the things that made them great was that the community fixed them within a year.
Denuvo, you think maybe even Denuvo might be involved there?
Supposedly,
too?
like we have to see what they do, because if they make it so that the community can't interact with this and tinker with it and make it better just month to month, then we're just relying on Bethesda to do it at that point. And it's like, I don't know. They release special editions with the fan fixes in it. It's obvious that they want to kind of approach it in that regard.
If this comes out and as good as the hype is, like if this actually delivers, I do think it's going to be interesting. When Game of the Year conversation, like MVG brought up, I think it's going to be real interesting if this game is as hyped as people really are building it up. I'll be curious. I hope it's great, honestly, because we've been waiting forever.
I I mean, it'll be fun to play a new Bethesda world, you know.
True, yeah.
Because I didn't play Fallout 76 or anything like that, because I didn't really care for the gist of it. So you know, it's been a while since we've gotten the Bethesda.
I mean, they said it themselves, like, yeah, it's been a long time. Well, there you go. All building up to this release. Well, here's hoping it's not buggy on release. Here's hoping also for a 60 FPS mode on consoles, because that'd be, I don't know, 30 FPS there. That'd be kind of rough.
30 all day, man. 30 all day.
Oh gosh.
It's cinematic. It's just more cinematic.
Good. And also, I think after this year, I feel like we would then see Microsoft get on that cadence, hopefully, of releasing a big game a quarter. That's what their service would need, basically, for Game Pass. So
well, that's what they've said they wanted to do for a while now.
Big game per quarter, some third-party signings in the middle, and then maybe a hi-fi rush here and there. And I think they could do some big things with their service for 2024 even. So we will see. Evan, do you have a Discord question over there?
I guess we can keep it in the vein of this. With Starfield being delayed, could we see Hollow Knight Silksong coming out beyond the time frame Xbox gave us?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, based on, we're going to talk about another delay. Anytime you see a date, you can't even really take it that seriously anymore. You know, I mean, I know we talk about this one. Okay, maybe Starfield gets pushed again. Based on what I've heard, I think Starfield's locked in. I think the game's ready. So
well,
that
ready or not, it's
blunder.
probably coming out.
That was a marketing, committing to the next 12 months.
Here it comes.
I mean,
So
I think, Sean was saying previously that they lied. I don't feel like that they lied. I feel like they probably felt like at the time
they got too excited.
They felt confident that the next 12 months was going to work for them. But man, it's game development. Shit changes all the time. People leave the company. Key people leave the company, and all of a sudden your timelines are completely fucked, and you have to rescope, your estimates and stuff. So I think at the time they felt confident, but I think it's a
What about
stretch to say
Forza then? Should we talk to Playground and ask what happened there?
Well, that's turn 10.
Aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah,
turn 10. That's what I meant.
Playground.
turn 10, yeah.
What was Fable Playground? Yeah.
they're
Playground's doing
doing
Fable.
Okay.
I mean,
do we talk to turn 10 too? Are they innocent as well? Like, come on, dude. I'm sorry, but
Forza's been on the shelf for a minute now too. Like they're
Fable.
Forza. Well, yeah, Fable's a whole other thing. This is a racing game that they're known to make. Fable is, I mean, you put a team on that's usually making racing games. Like, make this open world RPG. Okay, so
At least the travel system on Mount will be great.
But I mean, I'm expecting I'm really expecting the Forza game that they make to be really, really good. I think it will be, but again, the expectations just continue to build as delays happen, and they say we need more time for bug fixes, polishing, etc.
The companies, I don't understand why we're white knighting for these companies. Like, okay, things change or whatever. They're the ones imposing these dates upon us.
I agree with you. I'm not white knighting for them. I'm saying that
white knighting with your fucking carbon engine, because the carbon engine doesn't have these problems.
You're right about that. I think the 12-month thing was a mistake, and they should never ever commit to that again. I think it was that whole thing aged terribly. And they shouldn't do it again.
It sounded great. That was a
according
marketing.
According to Ray, I should make friends with developers to understand what goes into it.
The question is, what's the alternative? Well, the question is, what's the alternative? You just don't give a date until you know within. Well, if you don't give a date to within 3 months, like if you're like, if we're not sure till 3 months out, we won't say a date. Then we've just got years of people being like, win, and then it just gets angrier and angrier and angrier. Whereas this like kind of controls that issue for a little bit.
To me, I feel like if you say, we're shooting for spring, and then you do the 3-month thing, you could kind of analyze. At least you're not giving a concrete release.
You're saying spring. What if it's like, I'm sorry, fall.
That's the problem.
So then just give a year. And if you can't match a year, then
they did 22.
Right. Yeah.
What year is it right now?
And that was the first delay. So
you're saying for 20? Oh, for like the next.
I'm fully team MVG. I see what he's saying. He's not excusing, he's explaining the fact that you're shooting at a very moving target, so it's hard to hit a date.
It really is. I mean, I wouldn't even any studio, if it's Sony, Nintendo, or Xbox. I mean, if they give you a date, I mean, we've seen so many times in the last couple of years those dates just don't get met. Like they always get delayed, or most of them get delayed.
Yeah, I mean, remember that entire Sony year was games from the previous year that made. I think it was GT's Gran Turismo got delayed into that year. Horizon got delayed, and God of War got delayed into that year. So delays are pretty consistent across, especially now. I assume it's because we're coming out of that pandemic era where people were still trying to figure out their roadmaps in development, work at home.
Just shadow drop stuff like Hi-Fi Rush, Metroid Prime Remaster. Just shadow drop things from now on.
Might as well.
I want to see a massive game get shadow dropped. That'd just be great. Just this huge AAA.
I would love to see someone take a shot at that. Just, hey, you know what? The new Forza's coming up. We're just gonna. It's available now.
Like just the Game Awards, and like one of the things during the Game Awards is, oh, by the way, just buy Hellblade because it's out right now. And it's like, whoa.
I'd be somebody has to take that shot, like just kind of experiment to see what happens. I would be very curious.
I think it probably happened with an expansion first or something. I can imagine Capcom doing that. Like, hey, gigantic expansion for Monster Hunter Rise now. But a full game would be hard.
I feel like there's just a lot of them just being concerned that they need that marketing push. They need a lot of things to happen in the lineup, and then the logistics of getting it on retail shelves. But maybe in the future, when there is no retail copy anymore at stores, it's all digital stuff, then maybe they take a shot at it at one point. They've just spent time advertising more and more over the last couple months, and then they just shadow drop it. So that's something to think about. I think it'd be interesting to see the appeal, because maybe we do get to a time where there is no release dates, that game just comes out. So Be interesting. Let's move over here to the Capcom showcase. Let's just go to Resident Evil 4 remake, and then we'll kind of go down the showcase a bit as we go along, because I will say, while they did show stuff there, I know the big focus was on RE4, because we knew the demo was coming. It leaked out a bit early through an Amazon advertisement, but even then they mentioned it. Before that, we looked at the trends. They were doing demos for all these RE remakes. It was coming. So we got the chainsaw demo. It's like beginning early on in the game, basically right there at the start. And it's a solid first playthrough, a solid 20 minutes, because you're going to spend time trying to sneak around a bit, looking at things. That's what, at least what it was for me. I think it was like 19 minutes or something when you get to the end with the card. And it's the only thing that's a shame right now is it's 2 more weeks before this game comes out, because the demo was incredible. It was really good. Did everyone get a chance to play it?
Yeah. I've played it 6 times.
Okay, good. Evan, did you play it on PC?
No.
Oh, man.
Kind of burned out on that type of thing.
RE4 or just the demo?
No.
Like the RE stuff.
Oh, what?
No,
I don't know. I don't
kick him off.
I don't like the third-person camera function. I like different kinds of survival horror at this point. I want to play the Silent Hill 2 thing to see if it's decent, but I don't know.
It was fucking awesome.
Love that.
So good.
I mean, right away they set the tone, because Resident Evil 4, you go in when it's like daylight out and all that. Dude, it's like nighttime immediately when you go in there, and they kind of changed up that first interaction. Whereas before it was just like he's gonna turn around and slowly walk at you, and you just shoot him. And instead they kind of worked into a cutscene where Leon just kicks the dude face first into the wall and like busts his neck.
Well, because the guy came after him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's self-defense clearly, but it's
here's the thing for me is that Resident Evil 4, okay, because I always tell the story. When I first played Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, when I bought it on day 1, I didn't like it. I played about half of the game and I sold it to my best friend for like $30 because I knew I could watch him play the rest of the game, because we were coming off of Code Veronica and Resident Evil 3 and 2 and 1, and they were very different games. And then you got Resident Evil 4, which was very action based, and it wasn't very scary. You didn't have the same resource management that you quite had in the other games, and of course AI limitations and stuff like that. Playing this demo, it was tense.
It's scary.
I love it. It's scary. It's what I wanted Resident Evil 4 to be the first time I played the original version of the game, and just finding little things within just that space, that small space that you're in, but like where you can shoot the little lamp down and then the cow catches on fire and the cow runs out of the barn. Like, that's super cool. Figuring out little things like that. The enemies are smarter now, and the AI
is flank you a lot.
Yeah, and like I love the whole stealth mechanic that they're adding into the game too, because like when I first played it, I just went up behind this bitch and like stabbed her in the throat and was like, all right, I'm gonna take this whole fucking village out myself, stealth wise. And of course I got caught, but it's so much fun, and I could see so many different ways to go through the game and play through the game as far as different styles are concerned. That's really going to make the game just very awesome, I feel.
Bro, the first time I played it, everything's going fine, sneaking around, trying to kill people, kind of getting caught, kind of being sloppy. I trigger the chainsaw guy. He shows up.
Oh, yeah.
I go upstairs and I grab the shotgun, and I'm like, all right, I don't know how much the range is, so I'm going to wait to the last second so I can make sure I do maximum damage on him. So he's walking at me. Somebody breaks through that second floor window and stepped in front of him. The chainsaw guy swung at me, hit the other granados and chopped them up, like hit them, and they squirted blood everywhere and fell over down. I was like, so his chainsaw in the game actually is like emitting damage. It's not just like where people can hurt each other. And that like genuinely shocked me in a way I haven't seen in so long, where I was like, oh, this guy, it made him feel more deadly. It's like, these people are psychopathic monsters in human form. Oh, it's so spooky.
I didn't get the shotgun the first time through either. I just went through without it, and then I went back and I'm looking at Twitter and people are sharing all kinds of little details in this demo. Like I didn't necessarily even think about pairing, and people were talking about that.
Right,
like that's in the game. There's a lot to even just this little demo to discover, and it's really, really cool. Just all the attention to detail they have. I did notice Leon's face looked a little weird. Maybe it's just me getting used to it a bit. Like in combat or in battle during the game, it looks a little strange, a little stiff maybe, but it's the demo, so it could be changed or altered in the final version.
I kind of got the vibe, and I could accidentally just be like projecting here, but I kind of got the vibe from his facial animations in general. They're trying to project that he's really got like PTSD going back into this like bioweapon situation, because he had definitely kind of a weird stiffness to a lot of them. And his dialogue before that from the new opening cutscene, I think they're trying to convey the fact that he's like shocked to be back in this.
Someone's saying there's a machine gun in the game. I didn't know there's a machine gun in there.
Yeah,
If you throw down all your weapons, go into the village, and on the right side there's an open well, and if you go down that dried up well, there's a TMP and a knife.
Oh, cool. You got to throw all your weapons down. Interesting. Huh.
It looks strong. I have not done it myself yet. I keep seeing videos of it though, and it looks crazy.
But that makes me think about all the paths that like the final version will have, because it's gonna be going through the entire game. Does that mean there's gonna be little weapons hidden here, or fun things where a cow gets caught on fire over there? And to me, this feels like it's gonna be like their pinnacle of releases for the Resident Evil remake series. It seems like if we look at it like 2, 3, and now 4, this seems like it's like their biggest project yet. And that's exciting stuff.
It's crazy they've managed to keep topping themselves. I mean, I'm such a big sucker for Resident Evil, and I actually played through Resident Evil 4 twice in preparation for this. So I'm actually just stunned that it's better. Like, I can't believe they set the bar so high, and they just keep going higher.
I have to though, because this is 4. This is Resident Evil 4 for a lot of people is like some people that's their favorite game of all time. You know, so they knew that they had to come in and with some big time ideas and development, and there's even talks that they had to kind of play around with the development in general and move people around to make sure it was certain quality. But what do you think about it, MEG?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I played it yesterday as well. I beat it. I got the shotgun, and I felt like the shotgun's a little underpowered personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I was just wailing into the chainsaw guy with my shotgun, and he was just like, wasn't even flinching. So I had to take him out with grenades in the end. That was kind of the way I took him out. But other than that, like, I think the demo is awesome, man. I can't wait for this game. Like, we're eating good this year with these like remakes and stuff. Dead Space. You got Metroid Prime. Well, that's a remaster, of course. We got that recently.
Silent Hill.
It's Silent Hill. Hopefully this year as well. But no, I'm hyped for I can't wait to play this game when it comes out.
Yeah, I think we're talking a lot about this when it does drop in a couple of weeks here, but demo is good. I think everyone should be checking this demo out. There's a lot here to play and enjoy. And I am curious though, where do they go from here? Like, what's the next
Code
remake?
Veronica?
I bet anything is going to be 100%. It has to be Code Veronica. So for 2 reasons. I made a video about this like a while ago, early last year. 2 reasons. One, I feel like 5 is harder to adapt. You're gonna have to change a lot of story elements and beats, which clearly they're not afraid to do. They've changed quite a bit for RE4, it seems like. But I feel like Code Veronica, is straight 1-to-1 adaptable. Other than, I do think the brother-sister incestuous story, I feel like they might try and update that to not quite so be weird. But other than that, I think it'll be good.
Well, and the whole Ashford stuff and Code Veronica and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. The Ashfords.
In 2023. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they definitely pretty much go, he's trans and that's why he's crazy. It's like, oh, that's not good.
Kind of think they might do 5.
God, why?
It might just be the in their mind. Okay, we've done 4, we've done 2, 3, 4. Let's just do 5. Let's just put it out there, get it done.
They got to change a lot in 5. Do you remember when you go to the African village and there's zombies, people throwing spears and stuff? It gets pretty bad there for a bit.
Maybe they'll look at going back and maybe updating it for current times and fixing things. You know what I mean?
Like, at that point, just make another fucking game. Like,
but didn't we say this? We said this kind of about RE4 though. When we heard that at first, we were like, why are they remaking RE4? You know, this is during the PS4.
Yeah, but RE4, everyone generally loves RE4. You can't say the same thing about RE5. Like, it was okay. It was decent, but it's not the same. You know, 1, 2, 3 cult classics. You know, Code Veronica, throw that in there too. After 4 is when Capcom kind of got into their lowest point. You know, 5 and 6 and all the other bullshit that they were doing. That was when Capcom was at their lowest point. So I don't think that would be. I just don't think it would be good for business. Like, I don't think, because a lot of this obviously also relies on nostalgia, and I don't think that many people have that sort of nostalgia for.
What about Resident Evil OG 5? Resident Evil, the original?
Yeah,
you could
or
do something
Zero,
with that,
right?
Zero.
Or is it
0.
zero? But would you put in online co-op?
Yeah.
That'd be cool if they could do that. That'd be awesome.
I think a remake of Resident Evil 0 with actual co-op online would be great. And also, if they did the Resident Evil Online games Outbreak, I think those would be great. There's actually been rumors that they want to do something with Outbreak, but they just haven't yet.
Okay.
What take is now? I'm fraudulent. I'm fraudulent for that take. What
Stop
did I
reading
say?
the chat. Nothing.
RE5? Are you?
Is RE5 like the fucking tits all of a
I
sudden?
think people like that.
fucking boulder,
dude. Come on,
Well,
he punched the boulder.
I will say, I think Resident Evil 5 is legitimately super fun. I love playing it. The story is.
I don't think it's a bad game, but I just don't think it's worth remastering.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, 'cause,
it's.
I mean, we're getting to that point where it almost looks as good, you know what I mean, as far as the visual fidelity and stuff, right? So, I mean, they could remaster it, but like, you kind of the gap is kind of narrowing as far as the visual effect and quality of a remake versus the original game at that point.
What about a new Revelations?
So
That's what I was going to say, like Revelations 3. I mean, there's been rumors about Revelations 3 for years.
I 100% think we're getting RE4 remake, and then I think they're going to go real quiet about Resident Evil for a while all the RE4 free updates are coming out, because I already said we're getting Mercenaries, maybe like Assignment 8. So they're going to spend there's going to be a long tail to the sales on RE4, and once those die down, I think they're going to come out in a big way and push Resident Evil 9. And I think Resident Evil 9 is going to be the start of a new like Ethan Winters style story.
Okay, I'd be all right with that. Yeah, I'm curious what they do with that then. But hey, RE4 remake looking good. Excited. Should see some reviews dropping this week coming up, I believe. I think reviewers. People are reviewing this game. Can't say which one it is. Like, I wonder which game's coming up.
Yeah,
we should see reviews this week, though. According to Metacritic, I believe they're posting on like Wednesday or something. They said it on their Twitter. So
I thought it was Friday. I thought it was the 17th.
Okay.
Like that.
Either way, we'll have a good bit of time between release and reviews going live. So look for that next week. Expecting big things out of Resident Evil 4 remake. I think it's going to score well. So exciting stuff. Let's talk though about the rest of the stuff that was at that Capcom showcase. I know RE4 was like the big thing people really cared about, but we'll go through it either way. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection was shown again. I think we've seen a lot of this collection. I think I'm just ready for that. That's out next month. So they showed off patch cards that were only available previously in Japan physically, but nearly 500 cards will be added in. So
Easy mode.
in easy mode, 100 times Buster mode. You just kind of go through the story. Street Fighter 6 got its final commentator. The game looks great every time they show it. So
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter fans are really happy right now because they obviously have put in a lot. They have 8 different commentators, by the way, in this game. I didn't even realize that. So a lot there with customization. Capcom celebrates 40 years with a digital theme park. I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. That looks like some weird, like, we have extra money in the marketing budget. It makes no sense.
Yeah, no one seems to know what this exactly is, but it's June 12th, grand opening. All right, great. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak comes to new platforms. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective coming out in June 30th. I've never played this game before, but people say it's good.
DS cult classic.
Okay.
I never played it either, though.
The concept looks interesting. You keep jumping around to different murders that happen, and like it's 10 minutes before or something. You have to try to help or save the person by being a ghost, knocking things around and kind of foiling the plan of the bad guy. And the idea is to figure out how you died or solve your own murder. So it's unique. I will give it that. I'm curious because they do have to adapt it to the one screen rather than 2. But I think they put it on iOS, so
yeah, it was
solved. Okay, so they probably solved it then there. Okay, this is the last thing that was here. Exoprimal.
Man,
It looks like Anthem, a bit of Warframe, and Dino Crisis.
it doesn't play. I've played quite a bit of it. It does not play like any of those. It plays exactly like Left 4 Dead.
Oh. Interesting. Okay, that's not at all what I was getting from the trailer.
Well, so the trailer was weird as well. So the big thing in the game is that there's parallel dimensions, which in the trailer they showed, but in a weird way. So when you play the game, you're on a 4-man team and there's another 4-man team, and you're in the exact same city in the exact same spot. And basically you'll have an objective like push this box, capture this objective, kill this dinosaur boss. And then you will see the silhouettes of the other people accomplishing their objectives at the same time. And you're basically trying to do your missions before they finish theirs. So you have the same list of objectives and the same monsters you have to fight. So you have to be strategic, but you can also switch mechs. So there's defensive mechs and support mechs, which can like shock the dinosaurs, and then straight up combat mechs, which of course everybody chooses. There's melee focused ones versus shooting focused ones. But like as fun as the game is, I'll be honest, once I watched that trailer, even after having played so much, that battle pass looks terrible.
I didn't really have a lot of hype for it, so I don't know. It looks like a game I've already played. It just didn't really pull a lot of interest.
That I wish I could edit a trailer for them. So there's like goofy stuff they still haven't put in the trailers. You can, if you live long enough and kill enough dinosaurs, you can go dino mode, and you leave your mech and then go into a dinosaur, and then you get to pick which dinosaur, and you go into the other people's reality. So you get to mess them up. I know. Well, and it's like the infected mode from Left 4 Dead, where you can go in there and mess them up. So you'll come in and you're different colored, so they know that you're an enemy player. But I've gone in as like a super T-Rex and start eating the enemy players, and they're like, "Oh shit!" But it's like, yeah, I don't know why they don't show that in the trailer.
Well, it is going into Game Pass day one, so I'm gonna download and try it out. I guess we'll see. But it's a deal for Xbox there, getting the Capcom's big summer release, Exo Primal. There's also a beta running, open beta, March 17th to the 19th, and the release date is now July 14th. So they're just kind of pushing that out there over the summer, see what happens. But I guess that'll be their live service, games as a service kind of game. Anyway, that was the Capcom showcase. It was all right, I think the RE4 demo at the end really put it over the top for a lot of people. That was exciting to get that right away. But otherwise, it was Capcom talking about games they already knew about and giving us updates. So
I did like that little extra, like just 2 minutes of random raw gameplay they showed for Street Fighter 6. That game looks better and better, and I'm kind of glad that they're just like, here's a match. Here's just a quick 30-second match. I'm loving that they're doing that.
I mean, the game itself visually looks great, and it looks smooth too with a lot of the combos and everything they're showing off. The characters look interesting, look very unique. So I'm not really into Street Fighter or any of the fighting games, but I might actually give that one a shot just to play around with it and see what I think. So, Evan, do we have a Discord question over there? I'm gonna go and check out the super chats as well.
Would you rather be constantly itchy or constantly sticky?
Didn't we have this before?
That's a good question.
Maybe a long time ago.
I've heard this before.
Would you rather be constantly itchy or constantly sticky? Which I read it and I was like, that's kind of funny. Then I also thought, wait, isn't constantly sticky Spider-Man's power?
I was gonna say, how sticky are you? Like, can you actually climb walls?
I'll take sticky. Right? Itchy's like, we get like scabs, like meth.
Yeah. No, one of my best friend in high school that I used to compete in Halo tournaments with had real bad eczema, and he would scratch himself raw. So he'd literally be competing in Halo tournaments and missing shots sometimes because his whole skin always itched. So I choose sticky.
All right.
There you go.
What's your favorite bygone console feature?
VMU with the little stupid screen.
Oh, that was a good one.
The second screen. All right.
Yeah.
4:3 aspect ratio, CRTs.
I do kind of miss the whole, when every company like PSP had the games that would connect to the PlayStation 3 or the Game Boy Advance games that would plug into the GameCube. I do like the really goofy, pain in the ass bonus feature screens. I used to think that was cool, actually.
I kind of miss.
Reset button.
That's a good call.
I kind of miss the flip lid, like where you press the button and the whole top of the console flips open. You put the disc in. I don't know. I like that more than the slot loading ones. There's just too much that goes wrong with slot loading. Although now they're just taking them. Disc drive.
They're just getting rid of it altogether.
Whatever. Oh well, what can you do? Let me take a look at some of the super chats here. V asks, will Philip review the Castlevania DLC? It's 10 out of 10.
Every time I see Dead Cells, I'll only be able to think of him.
David says, when will RGT85 come back to Bubby's stream?
People don't understand. I lurk in streams all the time. Jack Move Johnny had a stream yesterday that was completely off the rails, and I was in there for like an hour just listening as I'm playing games, and then I'll just type something. Everyone's like, "You're here?" I was like, "I've been here for like an hour." Always anticipate that I'm in your stream, no matter how big or small you are.
Yeah, Sean's got the time. He'll find you.
He's omnipresent.
He's watching. He's watching.
There.
Joe says, been playing a ton of Fusion on Nintendo Switch Online, but since I played it back in the day, I wish we got Zero Mission as well. I hope we get it since I never played it.
It's coming.
It's coming. I feel
It's
like
gotta.
Yeah, I think they're. I mean, the Switch is going to be the Metroid machine, but when it's all said and done,
was that leaked leak, the Game Boy Advance stuff that leaked like 6 months ago. Zero Mission was on that list.
That was one of the test games because they were testing a lot of games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But so far that list has produced everything we've had.
Yeah.
So I think Zero Mission is on the way at some point.
Yep. Xbox has no games. Says I figured out how to help Square be profitable. Parasite Eve 4K remake powered by the Carbon engine and reviewed by RPG85.
It's perfect.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
The trifecta.
Great super chat.
Xtroid says game devs can't win. 1 minute people cry that their game came out and it's not polished. Next they cry the game's delayed for polish. They can't win.
Yeah, Sean. They can't win.
Yeah, Sean.
Here's an idea. Don't talk about it until you're ready, confident 100%. This is when we're going to release it and make a good game. I'm a consumer. I care about the final product.
MTS says, how hard would it be to set up an OG Xbox to play GameCube games as well as OG Xbox games? Very difficult.
That's not possible.
Yeah.
OG, unfortunately, though. Hey, Xbox Series, though. Now we're talking. I'm telling you, this Xbox Series, I've been loading up the emulators. This is blowing my mind right now, MVG. So I might do a video on it because I have like all the emulators on there right now, and it is super weird to jump from 360 GoldenEye, the good one, right? The good one. Jump over to like Budokai on the PS2, then jump over to Twin Snakes on the GameCube. All of this just on the dashboard of the Xbox Series X. Very weird.
Pretty sweet.
Nerd says Sean wants to complain about Xbox content, yet he is wearing a shirt from an overrated disco rock band.
Oh my god.
Overrated band.
What disco rock band? What?
Tell me you don't know their catalog without telling me you don't know their catalog, please. And it's a sweatshirt.
TJ says, I think the NSO GBA emulation is so good is that I'm looking at Mega Man EXE and thinking, wow, that doesn't look good. I wish it was on NSO instead. Well, Capcom is locking that down and they're going to sell it. So this is from Grug says, can't wait for the comment section to say you don't know about Xbox despite the fact that you cover games for a living. Keep up the good work, RGT.
Thank you.
I Live for Retro says, did anyone check out the new Playdate update that came out this week? I have not, but apparently it was a pretty sizable update. So maybe I'll check that out next week.
I want one. That trailer they dropped for the new games. I want to buy a Playdate for the price jump.
This is from JFK says, got a question for you in MVG. Is there a hard cap on the size of the SSD you can put in the original Xbox with the chimp method? I'm trying a 500 gigabyte.
I think you can have up to 2 terabytes.
Oh, wow.
But with a specific BIOS, I believe you can have like up to 16 or 24 terabytes or something. So
Jeez.
I guess the answer there is there's really no hard cap. You just got to make sure you have the right BIOS installed.
You know what space for?
Yeah, what? Yeah,
Yep.
seriously.
Just
Every
a little
game
corner
ever
of it
made.
with things, and that's it. Just a bunch of empty.
Kit says, I get that people say they haven't shown a lot of Starfield, so another delay, but we have seen less of Tears of the Kingdom, and that is releasing soon. I will give Sean this. He said that multiple times. He's on it. He said Zelda has been very quiet in terms of content being shown. So he's on it both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but that's coming out. We have the release date.
There you go.
Do you think they're going to do a quiet launch on that?
No, I think we get some sort of direct
Yeah, I do
for
see that.
the Zelda in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks maybe. I'm trying to think halfway into April. Yeah, so like 5 weeks. Also, they got to reveal that Zelda Switch.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to show that at least 6 weeks before retail. So maybe soon.
It just shows up in stores. No one says anything.
Right? It might
Probably.
do that.
That's Nintendo, baby.
Oh, Creatures of the Night. Sorry, MBG. Creatures of the Night. Do you know what? I actually, funny story. There's a tape player in my new old car, and I bought this thing that was supposed to connect to my phone via the tape player so that I could play music, and it wasn't working. So I was like, is it the thing or is it the tape player? So I had to buy a tape, and I just bought Creatures of the Night because it was like $8 on eBay, and it came in today. I found out it's a tape player.
I feel like if you're rolling with a car that is so old that it doesn't have any other option, you have to just use tapes. Then you can't use blue. You can't bring.
Does it have one of those powered cigarette lighters though? Can you use it for power? Yeah, they sell ones that you can Bluetooth your phone into, and then it plays a shortwave radio station. You can set your radio to.
I gotta. I think one of the speakers is belonging to that car. I gotta do up a bunch of stuff to it.
Okay.
Switch Realm says, what's up, Spotlight guy? Fun stream for Capcom. Callenshaw says, excited for Star.
Sorry, what did he call me? Spotlight guy? Oh wait, yeah,
Spotlight guy. Yeah,
sorry. People kept my Spotlight stream. Thanks to people who came through. It was my biggest stream ever. I appreciate it.
Callenshaw says, excited for Starfield. There is no way it's delayed again. It's ready now. I think the delay is marketing and hype. Also just picked up Hogwarts and it's really good so far. More strong one-player RPGs, please. Moneybag says, Diablo 4 might be first party in June. Why not push Starfield back? Xtroid says, Dreamcast guy, GT7 was broken. Microtransactions, Sony have ruined Gran Turismo. Also, Dreamcast guy gives Gran Turismo 7 a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you watch my videos, you'd understand what those videos are about. I don't know why it's weird when people like quote my videos at me like it's a comeback. If you watch those videos, I said, "Wow, this game's good," but the microtransactions are not live yet. I don't know. I get annoyed when people like try and quote my videos. Literally watch my content, you fucking morons. God.
That was the big thing with reviewers that they brought up was that Sony didn't have any of the marketplace or any of that stuff live, and it felt kind of purposeful. Well, I mean, it was obviously purposeful for that. So
yep, they literally no reviewers who played it before launch saw the microtransactions. That's why after launch I made videos about microtransactions roasting Gran Turismo 7. Fucking pay attention. Got it. I get so annoyed when I work so hard on content and people are like
Labyrinth Mace says, where is Fable? Remember when they showed a logo? Yeah, Fable. I think it's gonna be a while before Fable comes out. It's been a while. They showed that. I mean, they showed that at a time where they probably felt like they had to just start announcing something.
I mean, unfortunately, it was a logo in a movie. It was a slight step up from Metroid Prime 4. So.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. That's
just a little bit, just a little bit.
I don't think it's going to take as long as Metroid Prime 4 is going to take from announcement to release, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be close. And then Zoob says Ashley's outfit, nice orange pea coat. And Zoob follows up, says, last time I saw the kind of universal hate Suicide Squad is getting was Balan Blunderworld, which actually we can go into that now. So we had a report around Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. This was from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. And internally, which I don't believe that WB has announced yet. It sounds like something they're going to announce this week coming up, maybe, if there's already internal discussions last week on this. And that's when it was reported. So it's probably delayed by a few days there. Is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It was originally going to come out in May. Now being pushed, it's being delayed to the end of this year or just fourth quarter of this year. I think most people are assuming October, November, somewhere in there, right? And the reason given was that they feel like it needs more polish. And I don't believe that at all. That is a weird thing to say after they showed up, took up 20 minutes of the state of play, and then announced a release date that was 3 months away. That seems kind of strange to be like, oh, it needs more polish all of a sudden. We're going to delay this.
What do you think it is, John?
I mean, it's not enough time to massively fix gameplay unless there's something special about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't really get what this is other than them looking around and going, oh, this didn't work out well to show it this way. Let's delay it. We'll show it again. We'll reintroduce it in like 6 months or something.
That's what some later other leakers seem to hint at, the fact that the backlash scared them, but they think that if they drop it even a couple months later, it'll clear out a better window. Whereas dropping it like mid-year, like maybe the holiday release cycle, they can jump in there before end of year. But I mean, yeah, people have said this all over Twitter, but you can't really overhaul a game in 6 months. You can't remove all those battle passes and loot systems.
everything that people were complaining about and annoyed about, myself included, is tied to the game. It's like integral to the foundation of it with the games as a service setup. You're not changing much in 6 months, 7 months, maybe. I don't really know. That's the only thing I think of as it's a PR move. It's like, ooh, this didn't work out with this showing. Let's show it again later this year. And the thing that's weird to me is they have all of these heroes that you're apparently going to wipe out completely, and they showed them fighting robots. It's like you should pick one of the heroes, and they already keep showing Flash and messing them up. So I feel like Flash is probably one of the first heroes you take down.
Yeah,
just show that boss battle. Just show the whole thing play out. You know what? We're going to get one of the bosses ruined for us, whatever. But if it's genuinely unique and not a shooting purple dots on a robot, that might actually get people back in a bit. I know it's still the games as a service aspect, but if the story is interesting and they can show off some new combat ideas and settings, I might do it. Because that's the one thing I want to see is how are they going to take down Superman? How are they going to take down Green Lantern? Batman, any of these, right? And if they can start by showing us how maybe they work together to fight off Flash,
cutscenes and quick time events, that'll be it.
Oh god. Well, I mean, it feels like the story is the one part of this that might be cool. So yeah, John, I completely agree that it would be cool if they even showed just a cutscene of them being like, how do we take down a man who's practically a god? Like, show them in a strategy room. I'm afraid that when we do fight the final heroes, I'm afraid it's going to be like a raid battle with like 5 phases, and you're just shooting, because like the damage numbers and loot screens makes me think it's literally just gonna be like, he has 5,000 health, your guns do 20 damage, you have to shoot him for 20 minutes.
You gotta get to this level before you can take on this raid, which is basically Superman, who's the final boss, and you have to run that 20 times, 30 times to get a certain weapon or element to then craft this, and it boosts your that's all the things I'm more concerned about. It's like it feels like MMO territory at that point, but they've worked into this game that probably would have been a lot more compelling as a 20-hour single player experience, especially with that story. That's the only thing I'm really that interested in now after seeing it, because it does look like a third-person Destiny. So
I wonder if they're just trying to retool that eye level thing, because a lot of people focused on that as an issue with the gear. If they're just trying to like reapply it to the game as something that isn't just like eye level, but maybe it's something not as like in front of you as like this is what it is, and that's all it is.
I'm trying to figure out a way about what they can do in 6 months, because you're right, like they can't really do much, but the only thing that I can think of is maybe they took some of the low-hanging fruit from the feedback that they got, which was pretty bad, and basically management said to them, what can you accomplish in the next 6 months realistically? What can you get done? And maybe that's what they're doing. You know, they're trying to make it a better game, but I think the problem is this game, I don't feel like has any way of being successful at this point. And the 6 month thing isn't really going to make any difference, unfortunately.
It's going to get Avengers. Like I still keep thinking about the fact, and I did videos about this a couple years ago when Avengers came out. Avengers, when that came out, was like one of the biggest brands on the planet. Like everybody knew every character, and that game just bombed so hard. It's like, how the hell are you going to outmarket that? Like, how are you going to sell Suicide Squad if you couldn't sell the Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Yeah, if you have the Avengers and that didn't work, and now it's like, here's Suicide Squad, this is gonna work, right? The only thing they have going is it's Rocksteady, and you know, we have this belief that they can basically turn in a high quality good game every time. But I don't know, this one.
Well, this is it is kind of like a weird place for them, because I feel like years ago DC tried to like generate, I guess, like a mass media thing that they were trying to do and plan for, with the movies coming out, this game, tons of stuff. They wanted to tie it all in, because we've had a lot of recent movies and everything focusing on, of course, the Justice League, but also the Suicide Squad, and even Harley Quinn from it, like directly related to it. So they wanted it all to kind of fit in this little package of, hey, this game and all these movies, and everyone's going to love it, and it's great because we've been working on them for years, and then no one gave a shit. So like, I don't know, this is like that last tail out thing of like, this was one of the other things we were working on, and it's whatever, hopefully you guys like it. Like, it's just kind of one of those weird feelings, I guess.
Okay, Suicide Squad, we'll wait for the official announcement, I assume this week, and maybe they'll give us an indication as to how long of a delay it is. Apparently Jeff Grubb mentioned that they could even push it into next year. It's all the stuff's on the table, and if they do that, then who knows? That would be a very long development cycle for Rocksteady from Arkham Knight in 2015.
That's a bad place to be in.
That's fine though. You can't say anything about it, John. Just calm down there. Delays are good. A bad game is bad forever. But a delayed game is good.
It's
eventually.
suddenly great. Yeah,
at least Starfield looks good.
Wasn't that debunked? Was it actually a Miyamoto quote?
No, I went over that. That was some weird thing out of
debunked or something.
Yeah, I don't think he actually said that necessarily.
It was an MBG quote.
No, I would never say that.
So we'll see next year. Suicide Squad. I don't know, man. That's rough, man. Oh well. We're gonna go to Discord questions from Evan in a minute. I know, Max, you said you had to sign off after about an hour or so.
Yeah. Well, are we doing Forspoken next?
We can talk about Forspoken if you wanted to.
I already Forspoken.
Max, hold now for Forspoken. All right.
Yeah, I'll be
Max,
honest. I sat in the sun for 7 hours
for
today.
Forspoken?
I'm brain fried from sitting in the sun for 7 hours. So excuse me for being erratic and crazy today. But yeah, I'm just shocked by Forspoken. We all thought it bombed, but man, it's crazy that now they came out. Square Enix officially said lackluster sales, and also additionally, they're folding the studio Luminous Productions, which made it. And hasn't Luminous Productions existed for like 7 years?
Yeah, they were kind of formed unofficially during Final Fantasy 15's development, but then they made it official in 2018, and people believe that's around the time that they started really pushing Forspoken's development.
Yeah, and so I guess I'm still shocked that Forspoken, that Luminous Productions, I mean, it's got to be one of the most expensive bombs, because it feels like every year Square Enix has, looks like every year Square Enix has one game that totally flops, whether it's like Babylon's Fall, Neo the World Ends with You, Left Alive, The Quiet Man. Like every year they have one huge flop. It's just crazy that Forspoken, that had to be the biggest advertising budget for a flop I've ever seen.
Hey, so it sounds like Sony probably footed a good bit of that bill. So Square is probably disappointed, but they're probably not devastated by it. But Luminous Productions folding in, you're right, and yeah, that's that for Forspoken. So
they're still finishing the DLC though, so yeah, we get a bunch of Forspoken DLC. Although I imagine that's going to be real tiny. I bet it's going to be like a combat arena.
We'll see with that one. We'll go to some Discord questions though here.
Okay,
in a minute, Max. We'll catch you later, Max. Thanks for joining us.
I love y'all very much. Resident Evil 4 remake review at some point soon.
Oh yeah, you'll be on that. Absolutely, good stuff. I mean, you got a Discord question over there? There is some more info about Square that we're going to touch on too. Go ahead.
All right, we still got a decent amount left. What's your least favorite part of content creation?
Editing.
Oh yeah,
probably I don't really like making the thumbnail as much. I'll get a lot of the other stuff done. I'm like, I gotta make a thumbnail still. Okay, let me do this.
Most of your thumbnails are just you and then 2 images from what you talk about.
I know. A lot of time it's more thinking about the thumbnail and trying to figure out what to do with it, and then I got to use like Photoshop or whatever. It's a whole thing.
I need to get an editor to open a program. I like Sean has one.
I like just creating the videos in my mind and all of that and filming them, and then it's like there's a lot. The rest, the real process starts after that. So yeah, that's what I would say. Do you have another one, Evan?
Let's go with, what are some great DS games that the SpawnCast recommends?
DS games.
Great DS games. That's a good one.
I guess we can actually also fold this one technically into it. Someone's also looking, before the 3DS eShop closes, what would be some really good pickups?
Oh, didn't Sean do a whole video on that? I feel like he did. By the way, there is a big sale going on right now for the 3DS. Like a lot of these publishers are just dropping game prices on the shop currently. So we need to double check that, because there might be I think some of the Resident Evils are on sale right now. Yeah, a lot of them are putting one big mega sale is going on currently for it.
For the DS, I like.
Shantae's 8 or 50% off. Look at that.
I like Chrono Trigger DS is good. Elite Beat Agents.
That's a solid game if you love Resident games.
Yep.
Yeah. I still like Attack of the Saiyans if you can get that, but that one's kind of expensive for Dragon Ball Z. Cool RPG by Monolith though with Dragon Ball. I like that one. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, they have a bunch of stuff on sale for it. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is $3. It's 90% off right now on the eShop.
I think he said he had that one, and he had one.
Resident
of the
Evil
Fire Emblems.
Revelations is $3. Sean's
That's a
favorite
great game.
game.
That is a
Favorite
great game
game.
on the DS. Great game.
Sean's favorite game is $3. Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition.
Yeah. Push button Sonic booms. Let's go.
You have another one, Evan?
This one's for MVG. Do you plan on making a video once you receive your Switch 2 dev kit?
No.
No. Unless they mistakenly forget to make you sign an NDA or something, I guess.
Even I would still not do it.
Not even take that risk?
No. Nope. I don't want ninjas coming after me.
Let's see. This might sound like a silly question, but even with NDAs, how do studios really prevent their developers from leaking info?
Well, I mean,
threats.
I mean,
on their lives and families.
I don't work at a AAA studio, and AAAs have hundreds of employees, so I think being able to leak is something that you can probably get away with more often. At smaller places, where I work, it's easy to kind of track where a leak has come from. So, I mean, I don't really know the answer to that. I just think it's just one of those things that's part of the industry where people, whether it's basically you're at a bar and you overhear some developers talking about something. I mean, I've heard stories about things like that happening, or there's actually insiders that work at studios that actually do leak information to news outlets and stuff. I think all of that is something that happens in the industry, and yeah, it's just one of those things.
Okay. And we'll go back to the Square Enix. We'll go back to the Square Enix stuff again, because while Forspoken was up, that was one of the big things that they mentioned during their financial results briefing they had. This was dated February 3rd, by the way. So they threw Forspoken under the bus about a week after it launched. I mean, it was a week later, and they said that the sales were coming in lackluster for Forspoken, but they also talked about some of the smaller games that they released. So think of, for the entire fiscal year, they mentioned Live Alive. They mentioned the Final Fantasy Crisis Core. Octopath Traveler 2 is talked about. Valkyrie Elysium, although Octopath Traveler 2 came out technically after this. But like Valkyrie Elysium, Diofield Chronicle, Dragon Quest Treasures. And what they essentially said was all of these smaller titles also didn't really do much for us. Like they all came in below expectations. Essentially everything that they've released seemingly in the last year just has not lived up to expectations that they set internally, which it was interesting to hear them bring up some of these titles, because there are games that I feel like most people didn't even know it came out. Like Harvestella, like no one is really even talking about that game, not even Square. And it does make me wonder about their strategy recently when they push out Diofield and Valkyrie Elysium within a week of each other, and then Harvestella just kind of gets thrown out there. And I don't think I've seen them mention that game.
Do you think they should reestablish their PR budgets or something? Like, I don't.
Dude, their marketing, Square's marketing is really bad, it feels like, for these games. Tactics Ogre? That's a good game, right?
Great game.
But Harvestella wasn't really a good game, was it?
No, but I would probably at least make a marketing push for any of these games. Star Ocean wasn't a great game, but you can still go off the name. Or
Harvestella got a big thing in the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
But like Square, you figure they would do some sort of budget leading up to it, or even, because I mean that's technically a new IP for them that plays into the farming genre. I don't know, but Tactics Ogre, great game. The remaster was really good. They didn't say anything about the game, just got pushed out there. Even Diofield, new IP, it's got a shot, nothing. It's almost like they don't really want to talk about the AA games. And then they had actually a lot of marketing for Forspoken, but that was also tied in with Sony, and that did not work out to the point where the studio was defunct and then rolled into the main company again.
I mean, look at the budget of a game like Forspoken versus a Diofield Chronicle or a Tactics Ogre remake. I mean, probably Harvestella, probably every game that you named that was AA combined probably didn't even meet Forspoken's budget.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but then if you push it and people buy it more because you're pushing it properly, that's just more money in return. I mean, it's just.
I mean, even Octopath Traveler 2 just seemed to, the sales weren't good for that game either, from what we're seeing.
Well, I mean, could be a bit of a burnout. How many fucking
Yeah.
RPGs do you need?
I thought about that too, or HD2D even. You know, HD2D was really cool when we first saw it. But I feel like we've seen a lot of these releases that I don't want to say they're all looking the same, but people are maybe you're right. Maybe people get a little burned out on the HD2D style, and they're something else needs to come out to set it apart in that style. I don't know, or just Octopath Traveler 1. People don't necessarily want to say it, but they played it and they're like, yeah.
Well, I think they should continue to do what they did with Live Alive. You know, bring those Japanese RPGs across to Western audiences, English translations with HD2D engine. I think that's a really cool marketing.
There's a lot of games that got left there, like Bahamut Lagoon. That's one they could. Emerald Dragon.
Yep.
You could do. There's I also wouldn't mind Square just with Team Asano going out and getting games from other companies and just kind of working with them like as almost a go-between studio and bringing some of these other classics up too, and they just kind of share that. That would be cool.
If only there was like a game that Square had that a lot of people really have been wanting a remake of, you know.
Which one are you referring to?
I'm not talking about no Chrono Trigger bullshit. I'm talking about a real game.
Parasite Eve.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Damn right.
Oh, that wasn't what I thought you were talking about.
What did you think I was talking about?
We'll go with Terra Enigma.
Solid pick.
John, I'm talking about games that people care about outside of the internet.
Yeah, but how many people?
What?
Outside of the internet.
But how many people?
Oh, man.
Is there a number on that, or is it just 10 people who have a lot of different accounts that post
Did you ask
all
someone
the time
on the street
that
and they said they like Parasite Eve more? Is that what you mean?
I mean,
go to a grocery store, ask people what they think about Parasite Eve.
Pick one. Parasite Eve or Terra Enigma.
What's that fucking band that used to be good and then they kind of like
Kiss?
made shittier music now? They were like a death metal band, like gent style, and then they got soft and they kind of sold out. It's the English guy. They made a song called Parasite Eve that was very popular.
You lost me. I don't know.
What's the guy? Ollie Sykes. He kind of looks like a budget Mitch from Suicide Silence. What's the fucking Bring Me the Horizon. There we go. Thank you, Mick Jagger. See, have them reintroduce the Parasite Eve song.
I don't think any of this is gonna expand the group of people that might want it. I don't.
Well, there is one remake that was found in the NVIDIA leak list. People are curious about how they're going to pull it off, but Final Fantasy 9 remake.
Oh, 9.
That'd be an interesting one to see how they do that. But Tactics, I think is coming out in. I think Tactics coming out this year.
42 million views on the Parasite Eve music video.
And you think those are all going to buy the game? And it's not just.
But it could help. It could help.
And it's not just a handful of emo kids who have it in a playlist that keeps hitting back and giving it more views day to day.
And it could help.
Okay.
Okay? So you want them to take Parasite Eve, put it in the RE engine.
Could you imagine how good that would be?
That would be actually.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be bad. I just
that'd be really good.
Anything in the RE engine would be pretty amazing.
That would be pretty cool, yeah. But that's that. If you were the president of Square, that would be the move right now.
The move.
My move would be stop with shit like Forspoken.
Yeah, let's get an Airgees remake. I'm down with that. I saw that.
They did get questioned about a few things specific. Final Fantasy 16 is going to help, obviously. That's good. I think most of us are going to go. That's going to do really well. But they were asked about plans going forward and the potential that, hey, you're going to set up a really high bar to hit for next year with Final Fantasy 16 if you can't keep the games flowing. And they said that they have organized their pipelines that we will have a good spread of new releases in 2025 fiscal year and beyond as well. And we also hope you will look forward to the blockchain games we plan to launch in fiscal year 24 and therefore after.
Yeah.
That's what he said. People are worried about the new president coming in. That's Masuda who said that.
I mean, Square has enough IPs and enough interesting stuff to where, you know, they should have. I mean, Forspoken was heavily delayed. Are we to believe that it was delayed because of development issues or because of people were like,
I played it. I kind of think it was both.
Like,
I kind of think it's both.
But they need to take a page out of Capcom.
Uh-oh.
They got him.
They got him.
He's talking too much Starfield smack, and they took him out.
What happens? Talk shit on Square Enix.
Yeah.
We come for you.
I wonder how long he's just gonna sit there frozen like that.
It's fine.
Fuck?
Oh, wait.
He's back.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back.
Yeah,
What the fuck happened?
We came for you, man.
Your upload
Here's
got
the
cut.
thing. Square needs to take a page out of Capcom's book. Capcom was in a very similar position to what Square is right now. Lean into your back catalog and slowly integrate, newer IPs and stuff like that. Like, look at all the weird stuff Capcom was doing and losing money hand over fist. Like, you got to tighten up at some point in time.
I don't mind the idea of them doing more of their back catalog stuff, but doing it somewhat carefully. Because I don't think they released a lot in that last quarter. So many games came out. I think it was like 6 or something like
tighten
that.
up.
Yeah, you don't need all that. Yeah. So I think that's a good idea. And also, they do still have some weird games they could go back to. Like, who owns? I feel like it's them. They own Wonder Project J, don't they? I feel like they do.
Yep. And they got like they got like Ironhander and Brave Fencer Masashi.
Before they merged, they had that
Tobal, remember Tobal 1 and 2?
They had that.
I love that.
Before the merger, they had that Robo game where you got to build a robot on Super Nintendo, and it had like different abilities. I'm trying to remember what that was called.
What's the fucking Evolution game on the Super Nintendo?
Evo.
I love that game.
Evo, yeah, the bouncer. I could do that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? I like it.
Awesome. I love that game.
I like it. Bring up the bouncer. Let's do it. Square just needs to get their stuff figured out. Good news for them though. Final Fantasy 16 coming up. They're gonna be fine with that. 14 keeps making money, so they're good there. They just got to work out the rest of this stuff, and they do, I think, need to figure out a new IP at some point. But it was not Forspoken, not at all. And just more Final Fantasy. Just keep hammering Final Fantasy because it does work, even if the game comes out and it's not great. I mean, look at Final Fantasy 15. I didn't think it was a particularly great release for the series, and it still sold like 10 million copies. So it works for them. You have a Discord question there, Evan?
In the light of Counter-Strike leaks, what's your favorite esport to watch?
None.
I like watching Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is great to watch. A lot
Some
of
of the fighting games, dude. Guilty Gear Strive, that's like the one time I really tuned in. I was like, I just had it on the second screen. I was like, this looks crazy in motion. And I think that's just the game itself with how the visuals look.
It does, but like I got to be honest, I can't keep up. Like I can't follow along with what's going on. Like the announcers are going, "Oh yeah," and I'm like looking at them like,
there's a lot of stuff happening on screen. Yeah, but then they got the finishing move that hits.
What's going on?
That's because it's Arc Sys. It's all about pressure. That's all.
I'll tell you the one I don't get though is like the Dota stuff. I mean, I know Evan, you like all that. I'm watching it. I have no idea.
I get it, but it's they constantly expand on top of it to try to keep it fresh. So there's just like a million more things than when I last played it that are all part of that.
It's just like how it looks when they're trying to present. Where I get it with fighting games and shooters because like if people get the shooting's happening, running, the fighting, and that. But like I'm seeing this stuff happen with Dota. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
A lot of the times it's the presenters. Back when Dota first dropped on Steam, I think it was the Korean casters for the first show. They just kept yelling this one guy's name from Navi. He went by the name of Dendi, so they would just build it up and then you just hear them screaming Dendi, and it was just great.
Dragon Ball Fighters is really good to watch too. That's actually pretty.
Fighters
cool.
is pretty cool.
Motion, yeah. If another Discord question, Evan?
Last one. We've had this guy asking a lot of what should he do questions with his money. So this is one of the big ones. Apparently his PS4 is starting to mess up a lot, and he's wondering if he should pay. He said it might be around $100 to replace the hard drive at a store or something to get the guy to do it all and clean it up because it's crashing all the time. Or should he just hold out and wait to buy the Spider-Man 2 PS5 bundle?
Oh yeah, that will happen. That's probably in September. I mean, you gotta go another half a year. To be honest, I mean,
what are you doing on the PS4?
Yeah, there's some good releases coming up. I mean, like Final Fantasy 16 looks killer.
Well, I mean, John, you teased at the start of the show that the PS4's life is going to live on. So
that's our last topic too, because MG seemed actually like curious about that.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's actually pretty recent too. That popped up. I think it was like last night or earlier this morning that popped up, and I was like, we got it, because it's something I was mentioning like a year or two ago. So we have to revisit it. But we'll get to that as our last topic here in a minute. I just want to go through some more of these super chats. Eric says, thought we are still supposed to be boycotting Blizzard. That was for Max.
I never did. I'm not a boycotter.
There you go. G-Man says, Prime 1 Remastered flopped in Japan. Oh, those are the physical sales. Prime. The thing that people don't realize, Metroid in general has never actually been big in Japan.
Yeah, that's not really a big.
I've tried to make that point, but
you know what other game is not big in Japan? The Legend of Zelda. Not as big as it is in other areas. I'll say that. People seem surprised by that, but it's not a Pokemon or a Splatoon. It's below those franchises there, but then out west, it's massive. So, Metroid Prime, I think, did pretty well for the remaster. It's been on top of the eShop for how long now? So, I think those digital sales are coming in strong.
Need those Amazon charts, though.
I mean, physically, it was selling out everywhere, so I have to imagine they were a little caught off guard with that one too. So let's see. This is from Tjo says, finally bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 DX because Martin, and is it me or is it slowly becoming Smash Bros but with racing? I'd like to see Shulk and a Xenoblade track.
They need to do that. That's Sega did that. Sega All Stars Transformed.
Is that the concept? Is that the concept for the next Mario Kart? They just bring in the entire universe of Nintendo and outside.
What next Mario Kart, John?
I'm telling you, the trailer is just gonna be the 8 turning sideways into the infinity symbol, and they're just gonna keep it going.
You know what they should do? Don't number it. Nothing. Just call it Mario Kart. Do that. It's Mario Kart now, and we're gonna have all the content from 8 Deluxe. We're bringing it up. There's some new twist we're doing. I don't know, dual drive, whatever. But we're going to bring in outside characters and levels and things from other places. We'll get with Bandai Namco, right? We'll get Capcom. We'll do all this stuff. It's going to be Smash.
Yeah. Make it Smash or Mario. I know. I agree that that's a good idea, but I think your next Mario Kart is Mario Kart 8
Deluxe
Super
Plus.
Deluxe for the new system with those new with 48 new courses, maybe even some additional ones.
Oh,
You're getting 5 new characters with Mario Kart 8. People don't fucking believe me. I'm like, dude, on what planet does Mario Kart 9 make sense?
I can't even push back on that much. They might do that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus.
Yep.
Yes. That wouldn't even be the stupidest name we've heard in a while. They did the Pokemon plus thing. So.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, dude.
Oh,
Mario Kart 9.
Is that if they do that? Is that the thumbnail where you're pointing and laughing at the camera?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. Victor says my favorite franchises are back: Resident Evil 4 remake, Silent Hill 2 remake, Dead Space remake, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 4. Tenkaichi 4 and Spider-Man 2. I just now need a new Def Jam game like Vendetta, Fight for New York, and hopefully Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake. I feel like there's gonna be another Tony Hawk at some point. I don't know about Def Jam. That seems like that's a rights disaster.
Even if it's a new one.
Oh yeah.
Like if they try to do it with new people, it's still just.
I'm still shocked they even got it done in the first place, based on all the licensing and stuff. So I don't know about that. Would like to see it though. I think it'd be kind of cool. Khalil says, "I'm still waiting for Little Devil Inside."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What happened to that?
What about Deep Down?
Oh, Deep Down.
Is that coming out?
Strike says, "Thank you guys for all the amazing content you've all put out. Keep up the amazing work." Thank you, Strike. Noah says, question for MVG. Would it be easy for Nintendo to port Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess to Switch?
I mean, it's certainly doable. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I think it's probably a thing they're working on or they've already done, and they're just kind of waiting to let us know when that's going to be announced.
Is it using the Carbon engine?
No.
Could it?
I think that was the update. I think Jeff Grubb talked about that on one of his podcasts. That his understanding, and I think many other people's understanding, is that it's just sitting around. And I can't really say otherwise because Nintendo has done that a couple of times now, and we have seemingly proof of that happening. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a way for them to start to continue to bridge the gap between the current Switch and then the next gen system. So maybe it's a holiday release. There you go. Wind Waker Twilight Princess bundle. Not a bad idea though, because Sean's been cataloging his games. Turns out Twilight Princess on the Wii U worth way more than it should be.
Yeah, triple digits.
Sealed Smash. Sealed Smash was what, 4 digits?
Yeah, that's fucking. Those people need to drink gasoline.
Did we ever figure out what that is? That's like embezzlement. Something's going on there, right?
No,
Laundering something.
It's embezzlement.
Something's happening over there, right? Like that seems weird.
Well, it's like they're doing some shady shit like a lot of these companies do. The nonprofits. I'm sure Heritage Auctions has some nonprofit shit where like, yeah, I work 60 hours a week, but I don't make anything. Like, it's all tax evasion bullshit.
Oh man.
Come on, you wouldn't
Sean's
pay taxes if you could figure it out.
Sean's
Why are you smiling, MVG? Why are you smiling?
Sean's gonna get to the bottom of it.
Inside jokes are fun.
Switch says, my wife started playing Switch a year ago and has finished Eastward, Kirby Forgotten Land, Yoshi's Craft World, almost done with Odyssey. So proud. Wow, that's a good lineup. Hey, Mario Odyssey still works now. I'm telling you, still a great game. I've actually played it yesterday. It's very good. All right, let's talk about this PS4 situation. MVG seemed confused here. So,
Go on.
You know how Sony's doing a bunch of live service games, right?
Yep.
Okay. So they have I think I count Gran Turismo as one of their live service titles.
Yeah. I would
so they
too.
have like another 8 or 9 or something that are coming out. Well, this was spotted. I saw this first Insider Gaming, and I think it was also making the rounds just before that as well, because I think it was on Reddit and stuff too. But there was a new job listing on the Naughty Dog website. As we know, Naughty Dog is working on the Last of Us multiplayer, and they've shown us concept art and talked about it. And we kind of believe that showcase that isn't going to be in May. It's probably going to have this as one of the big reveals, and most likely could come out at the end of this year, but maybe it ends up in like the first half of 2024 or something, really kicking off the live service push for them. Great. The website appears to bring up the idea that if you were working on this, as they're looking obviously for developers, that you would need to have a working knowledge of both the PS4 and PS5 systems, which has people thinking that this game is in development for the PS4 or was in development at some point for the PS4, and also targeting the PS5, making this a cross-gen game.
Okay, I'm going to debunk this right now.
Yay.
Oh, cool. Okay, this will work.
So that could be true, what you say. But another way to look at it is, without trying to break NDA or anything like that, the PS4, the dev kit, the SDK, and the PS5 are very, very similar. So maybe the way that they're trying to advertise for this is to say, if you've worked on PS4 before, then you can probably transition over to PS5 pretty easily because it's 85% the same, if that makes sense. So that's another way you could look at this. But to your point, you could say, yeah, well, maybe they are working on a PS4 version as well. It's really difficult to say. The only way we'll really know is if these things actually come to light on the PlayStation 4 at a later date. But I would probably think that they're just looking for people that have experience developing on PS4 and then just kind of transfer that knowledge to PS5, which, like I said, there's a lot of similarities there. So I think that's maybe what they're trying to say. That's just my gut. I could be wrong.
Sounds like a cover up. They're gonna. The PlayStation 4 is going nowhere. I have been saying how long? How many years have I been saying this? The PlayStation 4 is going nowhere. It's going nowhere. They don't want to get rid of that install base.
Is Spider-Man 2 coming out for the PS4?
It's not. But there's other games that are going to come out for the PS4.
Is Wolverine coming out for the PS4?
Depends on when it started development.
I feel like Sony has crossed that line now where they're moving away from the PS4. I feel like that's in the review mirror, and they're really just focusing on PlayStation 5 at this time.
So you don't think they're looking at the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways?
It does seem.
Don't laugh at that, John. You don't know what that is. It's music.
I think so. Sean, you're saying the install base of the PS4, which is obviously large, and they have a live service game that you would need as many users as possible. And if the Factions multiplayer went into development 4 years ago or something, maybe they were developing on the PS4 first and they shifted it over to the PS5, and they're like, hey, this PS4 version still works. Let's ship it on the PS4.
It's possible. I mean, look at Returnal, right? Like Returnal started its development on a PlayStation 4 all day long. And they could have easily shipped a PlayStation 4 version of that game, but they chose not to do so. So I feel like, Sony's moving away from the PlayStation 4. Finally, they're they are going to start making a big push for just current generation or next generation, whatever we call it now.
I mean, how many third-party games are still coming out?
Yeah,
on PlayStation 4.
Well, yeah, but that being said, maybe games as a service games are like a different monster. I mean, the whole premise of them is that you need as many of those games on as many consoles as possible that they can fit it on and do work on, because you want as many people to play it. But like we're talking about, you brought up Spider-Man and Wolverine. Those, as far as we know, are single players. So like that's their effort to get people to switch to the PS5 while allowing the games as a service games to still exist in both worlds, because I mean they just want to make money. So that's how they work.
Yeah, there are rumors that Call of Duty this year in 2023 would still be on the PS4 and the Xbox One.
I think they'd put it on everything. Like they want it on the Switch, so like they want it everywhere.
Yeah, I think next year 2024 they will get that thing on the Switch, and it'll be rough, but they'll get it done, and then they'll move on to the next Switch or next system for Nintendo, I guess. But I think,
you think
Sean,
next year they'll have it on the Switch, dude. I think it'll be
this
at
year.
least 2 years. No.
I think they're pushing it out. They got to get it on the Switch because they use those install numbers for their argument. They need something, and then, or maybe they just put Warzone there. I don't know, and then they just move on.
The trailer pops up and it's just powered by the cloud, and you're like, yeah.
They said it's going to be parody to all the other versions of the game, content and everything.
Oh my gosh,
they said it, not me.
As played to the cloud, it'll be great.
Don't get mad at
the
me.
Same company that said they're going to show releases for the next 12 months only.
That's true.
I mean, who's making these decisions?
Is it their fault for lying, or your fault for believing them?
Here's the interesting thing with the
shame on me.
Here's the interesting thing with the situation though with the PS4. If they decide to put this live service game on the PS4 will be here till like 2026 then.
Well, I mean, you're right. If it does, then yes.
Because then they have to support the live service game on the PS4 for years. Which is wild to think about. I mean, RE4 Remake is getting that PS4 version, and they technically revealed it afterwards or something. So I feel like these companies are like, well, it took a while to get this generation going. Let's keep leveraging that old generation while we're waiting. And it's just kind of turned into, hey, the PS4 still exists in 2023, and now it still exists in 2024. And how much longer are we going to go with this? So it's this cross-gen period is lasting a lot longer than I was expecting. I will say that.
You should have listened to me. You wouldn't have been surprised.
A lot longer. I do wonder if we get to, I mean, we got to get to a point where there is a feeling of, okay, this system is holding back the other. I don't know. It does.
Well, I mean, there's already talks about the Series S doing that because of the way that Xbox once again handles the parity. You know, all of the content has to be available on a Series S and a Series X version of a game. And you know, I think
it was New Baldur's Gate having a hard time with split screen. 3. Yeah. So, and they were alluding to the idea that the Series S a hard time with split screen. We got to figure that out before we give the actual release date. Yeah, that's kind of an issue. Then you're like, well,
they could just be like Bethesda and just say it's going to come out whenever, and then change your mind, and then people just we got a new date.
You're never letting that go.
No,
that Twitter screenshot, man, just put you over the edge. It's just vengeance with you now constantly.
Yes, I'm a very vengeful person. Which is why I didn't like The Last of Us 2 story. Love the gameplay though.
We should make the after show where we all drop into Warzone, the three of us, trios.
I'm not getting my Xbox Series X from upstairs.
You got your Series S. Hook it up.
No, I'm selling that.
That's why I thought, oh my gosh.
Is that part of your deal?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
This guy. He's had a box Series S in the basement for how long?
Look, I ended up getting NBA 2K23 on the Xbox Series X for free out of this. So this was a smart deal.
Go get your Series X. We'll drop it in Warzone.
No. I'm exhausted anyways.
I asked the good people. I think the people would like to see that.
Nobody said anything.
How many Warzones did we win the other night?
I was 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. I think we could pull off a win on stream.
Yeah, we'll try the cloud-based stuff.
Oh no.
Sean will get that performance anxiety.
Yeah.
So people in the chat saying they'd love to see it.
See, I needed my nap first. I didn't even nap today. I was very
wow.
busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, people are saying get your Xbox. It'd be fun. So talk to the chat. Half the time we're hiding in the bathroom or something anyway. Well, Sean is. I'm out there being a hero. Sean's in the bathroom.
You're out there dying. You're out there dying and getting us caught and killed.
So
like a hero.
So much revisionist history going on right now.
Welcome to RG Toilet 85.
John is such a fucking liar when it comes to playing Call of Duty. And I'm glad when I'm dead and I can just watch his screen because he knows that he can't pull that bullshit. Because I don't care who else is on my team, I'm watching him because I know
he watches me. So what did you watch the other night then when I was playing at the end and I was at the end? What happened?
Be a fucking pussy and not go to the fucking store to bring me back. There's too many people. Meanwhile, I just run into the store and buy everyone back because I don't care because people don't fucking expect that. So
what happened at the end when the pressure was on? It was me and one other person. And what do you say? You said you better win. And what happened?
You won because I pulled the fear of God. Yeah, but what about the other night? The other game where it was you died and I had to win it.
My memory wasn't. My memory's on.
I was on top of the billboard sniping with a semi-auto.
You were taking them out. You were up on the billboard taking everyone down.
That dude jumped. I hit him in midair. Fuck you.
See, people are saying we got to see this. We got to see this.
No, it gets too crazy.
Doesn't have to get that crazy.
Does it? It has to.
People just want to see a win. They just want to see the W. Part of the experience.
No, they don't, Al.
So they can feel like they win.
We have any Discord questions left, Evan?
No, we're good.
All right, let me take a look at some of the super chats here. Let me see. We do have daylight savings time tonight, so we're going to jump forward an hour. So we might end up ending a little early just because of that, because technically it's already like almost midnight here. Xbox has no game, says games nowadays suck. Let's go back to the 6th generation.
You know, when I was on Weapon Wheel, they asked me a very interesting question that I had a very hard time answering.
What's that?
What was the last innovation or a game that felt innovative and different? And I sat there for a while and I was like,
I mean, you're talking constantly about enjoying remakes and wanting remakes. I can't imagine you're finding new stuff.
But what new games are out there that are doing different, that are doing something unique in the space and doing it successfully?
It depends on how broad you take that term, because it's probably nothing.
I'm gonna say Death Stranding. Yeah, I'll say Death Stranding. That was very unique and different.
It wasn't good though. That's the problem.
Well, it was successful for him.
Well, yeah, but that still comes down to what's broad, because Death Stranding, I mean, that's just the fetch quest. I mean, that's always been a thing. They just rebranded the fetch quest. But like, you have to get really more you have to get really more detailed with it.
It was unique.
Like even though Valheim has a lot of like the building functions and it feels a little bit like your standard survival, it had a lot of kind of its own flavor to it, which made it feel unique. But it's always in the little niches, the little focused details that makes the game feel different. So
Back to the Future 2 on the NES.
You can say Elden Ring.
Could you?
For a lot of people, I feel like that was kind of an aha moment, because instead of bombarding you with all the HUD elements and markers, it was a very open, very serene experience, I guess, where they didn't do that. And it was more go out, here's the Souls elements just blown up in the open world. And I think what Neil Druckmann mentioned, that he noticed that, and it was a very different, non-handholdy experience, and that's what we're used to now. So you can look at that as innovative and different. Breath of the Wild, you could say Breath of the Wild.
I think that's the one I ended up saying.
A lot of people, right?
Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild consumed like a bunch of games at the time's different functions and just turned it into its own game. So it just drew from other games. That's all it did.
It's but like for really different, like you're never gonna get that moment where Mario jumps out of the pipe in 3D and you're like, this is incredible. I don't even know what I'm looking at. What am I looking at right now? So I don't know if you'll ever get that again.
At this point, it's just how people use the tools that are already there. Like,
yeah, that's my thing. Is that 6th generation had the benefit, because that was the PS2 Xbox, that had the benefit of where they spent an entire generation stumbling through 3D. And they got to a position where the cinematic experience, like for example, Metal Gear Solid 2. Did that not feel different at the time than everything around it, Sean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can look at that. Final Fantasy X, I think, is a similar way. I think that felt way different than everything around it.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, a very different time then, because we broke out of the messy 3D era and into the cinematic 3D era, and there was just more you could do then, and everyone was just creativity all over the place. Now it's $100 million. Let's take a shot. Okay, it's Saints Row now. Great.
Yeah, but so that's the leap. Before it was the 2D to the cinematic 3D. Now we're getting into VR and the new things VR can do. So you do have that game where blinking changes the time in the game. So that is 100% unique to that, because it is a whole new system and tool that you have access to.
But that's how far we have to go now to get that again. We got to go to VR. It's like,
and I feel like VR is more of a niche thing, than just your standard. I don't know. I just thought it was.
It's niche for now.
But do you want a new gameplay experience? Like,
it depends.
Or do you just want to, have really cool, familiar experiences in new environments and stuff like that? Like, if there's a certain genre that you like, does it have to be a new experience? Because a lot of the times it's cool, but like sometimes they don't really have the legs to really go the distance. I feel some of these new experiences.
Do you think that people are just not as into new experiences now because they have familiar things and familiar types, and they don't want to go beyond that?
What'd you think of Death Stranding?
It's fucking diarrhea.
There you go.
In a bottle that was poured.
What'd you think of the last 4 remakes that came out? Like,
I love them as well.
How was your Dead Space? Like,
I didn't pick up Dead Space yet. I'm waiting on a price drop.
What? That was a really good game.
Yeah, not for $70.
All right then.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy. But you get RE4 though, right? We're going.
No, I'm trying to get
a solid remake.
Copy.
About Metal Gear Solid remake.
3?
Metal Gear Solid 3 remake for 70.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Gonna grab the Silent Hill remake.
I'm
still a little off on it myself from what they showed, and I loved Silent Hill 2.
I would need more, but like a lot of these remakes are doing things, it's not like a remaster. I feel like a lot of these remakes are taking the source material but expanding upon it. Like you can't, like Resident Evil 4 remake feels very, very different than Resident Evil 4 vanilla does.
It does, yeah.
So, it's kind of,
so if they just add stuff to it.
Well, I mean, no, because they changed the gameplay mechanics of the game. Really, Resident Evil 4 felt, I wouldn't say arcadey, but it was definitely a lot faster paced. Boom, boom, boom. A lot more action horror than survival horror. Whereas Resident Evil 4 remake has that slower pace to it and definitely feels more like a survival horror game should. So I feel like they're taking the original game but enhancing it to a point where even if you know every single thing about the original game, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know what I'm saying? Like you're expanding upon this game so much and putting it in like a modern era. I almost feel like, yeah, the story is probably going to basically be the same, but I feel like they're doing enough stuff with some of these remakes to justify, re-releasing it. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling.
Well, let me double check super chats. We can go around here because Sean is going to do his after show, and as I mentioned, we're jumping forward an hour. So
I think that happens at 11, right? Or does it happen?
It happens at 2 a.m.
No, it happens at 2 a.m.
Yeah. This is from. Let me go through some of these as we finish up here. Dex says, "Last couple, and everyone's favorite console." Also, Sean, we need a new story on the after show. You're the only person that makes me think I haven't been living right.
No, you probably have been.
It's everyone's favorite console.
Like ever?
I guess, yeah. So everyone's favorite console. Your favorite console?
The SNK handheld.
The Xbox Series X.
Not the Series S? Man, Xbox hater. Jeez. He's going to sell that thing without even opening it, man.
Yep.
It's
No, I
a
don't.
tough question.
It is.
PlayStation 2, maybe?
PS2 was pretty good. I still had to stick with the GameCube, but I mean, that was the best console because if I go back and I look at like the Super Nintendo, that was a really good system at the time. There's some good games on there, but yeah, I guess for nostalgia purposes, it'd be GameCube. But My favorite console is probably that. It's probably that Super Nintendo. That thing was legit back then.
I'd say a Dreamcast.
Great 2 years.
That's fucking, that library is amazing.
93 says Lakers beating the Knicks again.
So the way the Knicks are playing those last 3 games, you might be right. Brunson, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him.
Tijo says, Evan, how do you manage to stay invested in Genshin's main story? I feel like it goes on for far too long and wish you could skip cutscenes.
I mean, if he's talking about the voiceovers, yeah, I just plow through it. But sometimes the story, my favorite thing in that game is to just find how dark that story gets, despite how bright that game is. I mean, the last update, you get backstabbed by a tribe you've been helping, and you genocide them. You kill all of them.
It looks such a happy game, and Evan, you're trying to find the dark.
The
parts
first
of the story.
kid you meet is like, "Why'd you make all my birds run away?" Now they're like my parents. And it's like, what's happening? What's going on in this world?
Shinru says, what's the main difference between these different engines games use? Unreal, RE Engine, Luminous, MPG's Carbon engines. What does each offer?
Well, the Carbon engine isn't real, so.
Yes, it is.
It's I feel like it's a wide-ranging question. Hey, the nice thing about Unreal, though, if you want to learn about Unreal, you can do it for free. You just go on there, and they got all kinds of classes and stuff. And MVG's going to open up his own classes for the Carbon engine and teach people that. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Need for Speed Carbon engine. There it is. Tijo says, fun fact, Mario Kart 8 is almost 10 years old. Came out in 2014, right?
Yes.
10-year anniversary, we dropped the new Mario Kart.
No, the 10-year anniversary is you dropped the version with everything in it on your new Nintendo Switch 2.
That's gonna be crazy if they celebrate the 10th anniversary and there's still no new Mario Kart. Because that's
the
when did
Mario
it come out? Was that like April?
The new Mario Kart is going to be that. I'm telling you.
Was that like April 2014 or something? Oh, I need to look this up real quick. Mario Kart 8.
It was April or May.
Oh man, I think it was April. I think it was May 29th, 2014. Okay, so we are
May.
Yeah, so we are 15 months away from the 1-year anniversary. If there is not another Mario Kart announced by then, that is going to be crazy.
You honestly think that there's going to be?
Oh, imagine celebrating a 10-year anniversary for a game like that. Oh. Shinder says, watch RoboCop was pretty good. Which 80s action movie franchise has aged well? RoboCop, Rambo, Terminator. Also, new Rambo, maybe.
I think all of them have.
All of them have aged well.
Yeah.
Hopefully that RoboCop game turns out to be decent. We'll see. Yum Yum says, did not realize Altair Rise 3 would be overshadowed.
It's a damn shame. Especially after 2's events.
Miguel says, I agree with Sean about Parasite Eve. Horror games are having a resurgence, and it would be a wasted opportunity on Square's side to not remake it. Even Konami realized this, and now we're getting all these Silent Hill games. Mm-hmm. Matt says, yeah, let's all dump on a Death Stranding, a game made by the guy who did Metal Gear Solid. You guys try coming up with anything on par. Yeah, Sean.
It's not Sean's job to do that, and we never expected him to be able to be that creative.
Yeah. Hey, watch my short film. It's more creative than fucking Death Stranding. Not wrong. Find a lie. Great twist.
It was a solid film.
Great twist.
RC says, I SpawnCast 300 hoodie finally arrived yesterday and it looks great. Thanks for all you guys do. Thanks, RC. Austin says, what did you think of the final Mario movie trailer? Fire DK looked pretty cool. Yeah, it's a fun idea to have DK grab the fire flower. I'm going to check out the movie when it releases. It's probably like the weekend after it comes out.
Yeah, I want to do it 2 weeks after it comes out.
Yeah, theaters.
I want to be the only ones at the movies to watch it.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looked good from the first trailer, really, and so I'll check it out. Looks good. Let's go around here. MVG, where can everyone find you?
Thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube at Modern Vintage Game. I have a video coming out on Monday, and I'm sure Nathaniel and myself will have an episode on his podcast next week.
Okay, good stuff. What about Sean? Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85 or on Twitter getting yelled at by some fucking weirdo fandom of whatever system or whatever company I piss off that day. We'll do an after show for a little bit. I'll drop the channel link in here because I do not have a stream up yet. If you want to come by, hit the subscribe button. I guess it's just going to be the three of us for a little bit and just talking some shit.
MAG's getting on Warzone. You talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm not hanging.
So it's me and John.
That'll be
We're
a fun
playing
show for
Warzone.
you two.
Fucking
Get on Warzone.
great. I'm not getting on Warzone.
And Streamlabs, this is from South Coast Horizon, says, saw that 2D Metroid beat out 3D Metroid. If I may say, not counting the Federation Force on their M, 3D Metroid is just a way better experience. Can't seem to finish much 2D Metroid. What do you guys prefer, 2D or 3D?
I prefer
2D.
3D.
I still kind of lean towards 3D. I like Metroid.
Fusion, I would say Fusion's my favorite though.
Fusion is very
prefer
good.
2D, but 3D rules.
Yeah.
Hey, Metroid Prime 4 might bring some people back here. Don't worry, South Coast. We'll see. And they'll say, while we are at it, what's your favorite non-Metroid Castlevania Metroidvania, and why is it Kirby and the Amazing Mirror? You know what I really liked was Shadow Complex.
Oh my god, yes.
Very good game.
I'm
Good
actually
game.
keeping that physically.
Good. That one's hard to
PS4.
find. Yeah. And Liam says, is there any genuine hope the Scarlet and Violet or any future mainline Pokemon games will be fixed? The fact that every new patch update is not only not improving, but somehow making it worse, really disheartening someone who wants to play them. I think the patch is going to be the Switch 2. That's kind of what I'm thinking, unfortunately.
Maybe.
A lot of work to do. Those patches still. Evan, where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Kimrix Project. Whatever I'm doing, I'll usually post there. If you're into tabletop games, there's the Kimrix Project channel on YouTube and also on Twitch. I stream Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We just finished these guys up for painting, which was fun
Nice.
this last week. So you can check me out there as well.
All right, good stuff. Thanks everyone for joining us for the SpawnCast tonight. Like I said, we have the daylight savings jump forward a bit, but I think we got to just about the 2 hour mark. But I wanted to let Sean still be able to do his after show, somewhat timely. So we will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
I'm gonna kill them all. I'm gonna kill them.